Hello, friends. It's Mrs. Jane on Fun Day Monday, January the 11th, 2021, with all the news you can use about the Fantastic Four's first day back from the weekend. And so, how did it go? Fantastically, of course. After our usual temperature check, came down those stairs, headed right into our arrival routine with making sure that all of our belongings were in our cubbies, our folders made it to the take-home box, our hands were sanitized, we signed in with our t-shirts, and headed off to our tabletops. And today, new year, some more new things coming our way, parents. On table number 1, where we do our pre-writing practice and strengthening those hand skills, our pencil grasp, our visual tracking. Today we introduce some golf pencils to do our tracing with. We've left behind our wipe-off pages, so now we're using our pencils to trace, and so as the program, Handwriting Without Tears, tells us, small hands need small utensils, and so that's why we use those small golf pencils. And so still starting from the left, going to the right, starting at the top of the page, going to the bottom of the page as we traced our names. And then we used our two-sided crayons. Remember, those were a big hit last week. And this time we were tracing some mittens left to right. After table number 1, on table number 2, we did a little counting today, and so we actually had some snowmen who were melting. It's called Where Did He Go? As we rolled 2 of our dice, we counted the dots on those dice, and that's how many puddles our little snowman ended up melting into. On table number 3 today, let's see, maybe make sure I get that right. Oh, one of our Minute to Win It games. Again, this was a mitten theme, and so each of the kids, participants, put on a pair of mittens, and then they had to make a tower using our Duplo blocks, and we only gave them about 20 or 30 seconds to do it, with their mittens on their hands. That was a lot of fun. That table was pretty engaging and pretty popular. Also on table number 4 today, winding up that letter L, we did our rainbow writing of letter L. We had some white Play-Doh available also to strengthen our hand skills. Of course, after our tabletops were all finished and cleaned up, we headed towards the choo-choo line. And today we introduced our new letter M. And parents, you'll be so proud. First day with letter M, we filled the whole board with words. Yeah, all that begin with M. And check it out, parents, there are a lot of family members that are on our M list this week. So after our talk about our letter M, we moved off to our Hello Circle. We introduced our persons of the day, of course. We did a little pledge to the flag. We did some our good morning song. We had our attendance report, our weather report. Today, our 7th inning stretch was that fun song, Hats, Mittens, Coats, and Boots. We moved on to talk about our calendar, our new month of January, our new year of 2021, our new season of winter. We checked off the days we're home this week. We talked about how many days we've used so far in January, how many days till our next event, those wee Winter Olympics coming up this week. And then, of course, it was time to say goodbye to letter L, hello to letter M. And after that, of course, a little music and movement with the Snokey Pokey. It's harder to say than it is to do, I have to say. After a little Snokey Pokey, we moved off to our small groups. On the art side of things, we were using our fabric paint to paint our t-shirts for the upcoming Winter Olympics. We used some star cookie cutters and 3 kinds of paint, yellow, blue, and red, to make an all-over star pattern. Of course, it was up to the artist how that was going to eventually look. We just gave the materials and a bit of direction, and the kids stamped away on their shirts. We're adding the Olympic rings today after school. Yeah, and it'll also say We Winter Olympics on the front, and all the kids' names will be on the back. In the literacy side of things today, we did our ABC song led by the song leader, moved our frame to letter M, practiced the M sound. By the way, parents, what we call the M sound is that delicious sound. Your lips come together and you hum, And that's the sound we can't help but make whenever we smell or we taste something delicious. Mmm. And so today, after we modeled that sound in our small group, we all talked about the kinds of things that make our mouths go, mmm. We heard a lot about macaroni and cheese. We heard a lot about spaghetti and meatballs or cheese pizza, making our mouths say, mmm. After that, we went over to the circle. We sat down around our green carpet circle, and we played a little mailman. And so we had a ball, and this time, when it was your turn, you said, I am the mailman, and I have a message for, and then you'd roll the ball to one of your friends and say the name of the friend that was going to receive the ball. So it was a chance for us to hear the M sound with mailman and message, and to have a little interaction with our friends. Once we finished mailman, we moved over to our blue chairs again, and this time we looked at our M tree, and we circled all the M's on our M tree. After that, of course, it was time for a break. So everyone headed off to the necessary room, followed by a little free read in the library, and then our tasty snacks that everybody sent from home. After our little break time, of course, it was time for centers. So we took out the Magna blocks for some building. We had all the vehicles available for riding. We had rice in the snow, in the water table, in the absence of natural snow, of course. Gave us a chance to look at color white just the same. We also had the magnetic letters available today. And of course, always time for a quiet story in the library if you'd like that as well. After that was all finished, we reconvened in the library. And today, at story time, it was, oh no, Mr. Snowman. He kept turning up in all the wrong places. But in the end, he saved the day, parents, by making sure that when the refrigerator broke, he could keep the things cold. After our story time, well, then a little closing circle, a little goodbye circle with our show and tell, and then a little preview of what comes on Wednesday, our goodbye song, a little treat, backpacks and belongings before we all took our place in line, grabbed our rope, and headed up those stairs and out the door, down the walk, to meet all of you to finish the rest of our day. A couple of reminders for you, parents. Let's look. Okay, one more week with color white. And as I said, we've started with letter M for this week. Our Winter Olympics are happening this Friday. Parents, you did get a little notice about that, but remember, it is a simulation of the kinds of Olympic games we would have in the winter. And so we modify. We will have our Olaf snowball toss, where we have a large balloon actually flattened on the door, and the kids throw plush snowballs at the target, and whatever number it hits on that Olaf target, they have to tell us what the number is. And of course, those plush snowballs light up when they hit the target. Little extra fun. There's an Olympic ring toss where we have icicles. It's actually the ring toss game with some aluminum foil on it just to make it look like an icicle. Yeah. And then, of course, all the rings are the colors of the different Olympic rings. We have one of my personal favorites, the speed skating, where the children don skates. They're actually tissue boxes covered with some duct tape. Yeah. Take your shoes off, put those on, and you shuffle across, and we time you. And then, of course, we wind up with the giant sled slalom, where the kids slide down our classroom slide into a plastic saucer, and we pull them through the gates on the floor. We also have a fun snack that day, and of course the whole operation is preceded by a parade and some warm-up exercises, our Olympic oath, where we promise to have fun during our games, and at the end, of course, we conclude with a closing ceremony, a final parade, the presentation of gold medals and certificates. Oh, and for each game that you play, you also get a rubber bracelet, and the bracelets are all, of course, in the colors, yes, of the 5 different Olympic rings. If you have any questions about the event, please let us know. It's always a fun one for everybody, and we'll be sure to tell you more about it after it happens on Friday. following Monday, week from today, on the 18th of January, we will be celebrating Martin Luther King's birthday with a day off from school. And just so you know, the message that we send from school about Martin Luther King is that he was a very smart man who taught us about friendship. Doesn't matter where you live, doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter what church you go to, everyone can be friends, everyone can play together. Then we also want to let everyone have some advance notice that our first enrichment activity is coming, and that will be a yoga session presented by our very own Mommy O'Connor on Friday the 22nd of January, and there will be some more information coming home about it, but just to give you a little advance, the session will happen after the school day. The enrichment classes for the 4-year-old group happen after the regular school day. So we ask that parents send in a lunch on that day, and when school is over, we all enjoy our lunches together. After lunch, we have our session. And it should last about an hour, I would say, so you won't have to pick up your children until about 1:30 on the 22nd. And I believe that the session will be $5 for each participant. Yeah, it is not mandatory. It is an optional opportunity, something that embellishes our program. And then, just in case anybody would like to recycle their Christmas cards from this year, we'd love to take them from you, and we'll use them in future art projects. So be sure to send them in. And then, again, if you have any no longer needed mittens, we're still accepting those as well for our snow play. And I think that just about does it. Of course, as always, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, any concerns, please reach out. We're here to help. Be glad to do so. Always a good day to have a good day at Jack and Jill. And, of course, go Bills. Thanks, friends. Talk to you soon.